Hey, Dwayne, how are you doing?
You hear me well?
No, I can hear you. Great to see you.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I've been great. I'm about to get this kicked off. We're going to start this live stream also on the Facebook. All right, it is 12:01, so I am gonna go ahead and just run with it. All right, so very exciting. It's been a while since we've done one of these free agent Fridays. So I'm kind of excited to get back in the swing of things and trying to be useful in the industry. I've been so busy conducting research and teaching and things like that. So this has kind of been backburnered, but this was an important topic to kind of lead with, and we're going to try to start getting these free agent Fridays kind of back on the schedule for Fridays. But today we have a little bit of a special edition of our Free Agent Friday segment. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Brandy Runyon. I'm the CEO of Black Diamond Sports and Entertainment Group out of Dallas, Texas, and I'm really excited to be going over this topic with everyone today. And then hopefully we'll have some great questions and some other people joining in to kind of give some insight and perspective from the athlete side. But today I feel like it's going to be pretty eye-opening. We're going to be talking about one of the most pressing issues in sport management. It's a topic near and dear to my heart as an agent myself, and that is the topic of fake agents. So many of you who do know me, you know that I have spent years in this industry fighting for athlete rights, but also fighting against fraudulent representation. Okay. And today I'm hoping to share just some of my insights, some of my experiences, and the real impact of these bad actors and the effect that they have on the careers of you guys, you athletes. So I'll talk a little bit about my role in the creation and the push for Article 28.1 of the CFL's collective bargaining agreement. That's been a landmark provision that's been designed to protect athletes from falling victim to deceptive agents. So if you're an athlete, maybe you're a parent or you're maybe an aspiring agent yourself, um, or whether you're just someone who's just very passionate about the integrity and ethics in sport, you're in the right place. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into it. So I want to kind of start with um, identifying fake agents. So one of the biggest threats that are facing athletes today, especially football players, is fraudulent agents. These are people who pretend to be licensed professionals, but they don't really have credentials. They also don't have experience. And if they're lying about being licensed in the first place, there's already an ethical issue. Okay. Ethical standards are required in our industry. So, one question that a lot of athletes ask me is, how do you spot a fake agent? Because the trickery, you guys, is so real. But here are a couple of just really good red flag bullet points that I've got for you. Um, the first, most obvious one is lack of licensure. Um, I think a lot of guys don't realize that you can actually go and verify whether or not someone is actually licensed. You can check their status in real time, especially if you're trying to land like an NFL agent or if you're looking at Canada, like a CFL agent. Those are our primary bodies of our players associations there. And you can go on the NFLPA's website, you can go on the CFLPA's website, and they are search options so that you can look up these people by their names and find out if they are legitimate. Okay. So the first thing you always want to do is obviously check, do your homework. Don't take someone's word. Um, a lot of people in the industry that are trying to take advantage of athletes are basing their whole scheme on the fact that you will take them at their word. So that's the first thing you have to do, is just do your research. You can always check if an agent is certified by going to the appropriate leagues, such as the NFLPA, the CFLPA, etc. And if they can't provide proof of certification, that is a huge warning sign. Now, I know with just working with the NFLPA and the CFLPA, they keep those websites and those databases updated almost in real time, and you can always call them. If you're putting in a name and it's still not popping up, you can call and ask, and they can look it up, okay? Another way you can spot a fake agent is, are they charging upfront fees for agent work? Okay. Now, I want to put an asterisk here because I own a sport management firm, and we charge retainers for management services. Okay. That's completely different than agent work. Agents work on commission. Okay. If I were to represent a client solely in the capacity of an agent, I would only be taking a commission. Okay. A lot of the clients that come and work with us, they're tacking on public relations, media prepping, management, things like that. They're a little more involved than the services that an agent alone would provide. Okay. But if it is just a run of the mill agent and they're charging a fee, that should be a massive red flag for you. That's a big no-no, okay? We earn our commissions in agent work on signed contracts, okay? And another thing to make note of is that we're capped in the NFL and the CFL at 3%. Okay, so that's a big thing. So if anyone's out there trying to say, oh yeah, I'll be your agent, my cut is 7% or my cut is 10%. I've seen it upwards of 28, 30% that came from the fake agents that we reported and fought years ago. So just know, the more you know, the more educated you are, the better you'll be able to protect yourself. We're regulated at 3%. No one should be taking more than that, okay? All right, so upfront fees, big no-no, big red flag, okay? Um, Also, if they're giving you like unrealistic promises, you've heard that old saying that if it's too good to be true, it is, right? That's true. If they're telling you, hey, I can get you into the NFL tomorrow or within 6 months, that's not very realistic, especially if your situation isn't in line with the type of talent that would get signed tomorrow. Does that kind of make sense? If you came out of college 3 years ago, your draft class was 3, 4, 5 years ago, getting into the NFL within 6 months is not a realistic expectation you should have. Okay. While I get it, certain circumstances may be different, there could be variations. Just know that that's a really big delivery or a big promise that someone might offer, and it should feel kind of sketchy to you. Okay. The last one I have here bulleted is if they don't have a track record, okay? So you always want to research an agent's background, their clients, their deals, talk to people that they claim to represent, get information, ask questions. If they tell you, yeah, man, I can get you into the NFL in 6 months, who else have they gotten into the NFL? You know, how many NFL clients do they have right now if they're claiming to be an NFL client? And are those people actively on rosters right now, right? That kind of makes sense. All right, next point I want to make is um, the impact, the negative impact that these fake agents have on athletes. So I have personally seen a lot of talented athletes lose years of their careers and miss out on legitimate contracts and even get banned from leagues, you guys, because they were misrepresented by people who weren't real agents. Okay. It's heartbreaking. It can hurt your reputation. It's really bad. And there just really are a lot of negative consequences that come with falling into that trap. You could suffer significant financial loss. There are a lot of athletes that end up paying fake agents only to realize that they never had any real connections. They weren't licensed. They weren't actually doing a job, and that all of the work that they were doing couldn't actually get them anywhere anyway. And they end up losing time. And you guys know, and I know in this industry that time is everything for you. Every minute on the clock that's ticking by costs you money and opportunity. Okay. Missed opportunities is massive. If you're tied to a fake agent, that can cost you as an athlete legitimate representation, people that really are licensed with connections, with that drive and passion that really want to see you get somewhere, and create those career changing deals for you. Okay. So that would hurt you in a lot of different ways, with the time that you're messing around with someone who's not the real deal. And then I mentioned damaged reputation. Once your name is linked to a fraudulent agent, professional teams may be super hesitant to work with you. And I'm going to give you a real world example about the reputation and the lasting effects a little later on as we talk a little bit more about those examples and experiences that I've had. Um, be thinking right now, because I want to ask other people to chime in and ask questions. But if you've had personal experience with fake agents, I want to encourage you to, put some of your questions in a chat, and we're going to get to those. I'd love to talk to you about what your experience has been. Now, next thing I want to talk to you about is a little glimmer of hope. We have seen some advocacy in this because I've spearheaded it, and we've seen some change. So, fighting fake agents isn't just about warning athletes that these sketchy people are out there. It's about changing the system so that we can better protect you. So years ago, when I started noticing the rise in fraudulent agents, I knew something had to be done. And that's when I began working with the CFL Players Association to kind of bring their attention to some of the individuals that were out there in my industry posing as real agents and doing real harm in our industry. I worked with the legal department. I worked with key stakeholders there to really help push for some stronger regulation. I took on case after case. I collected a lot of evidence and I advocated for stricter policies. Now, that was a very tough road. It's already a little harder where we have a little more challenges as women in sport. And at that time, there were not a lot of female agents in Canada. And so I kind of felt like I was pushing and shoving, and sometimes it's kind of hard to get your voice to be heard, but you can be a squeaky wheel and you can make change no matter how small your voice is. That is one thing that I did learn. But it was tough. It was tough. But we did see some things start to happen. And all of that work led to one of my proudest professional achievements. And that's the installment of Article 28.1 of the CFL's collective bargaining agreement. So let's talk about Article 28.1. It has been a game changer in athlete protection. So what is it? I'm going to tell you. Article 28.1 states that all member clubs shall be required to negotiate with each player or any person designated by the player in writing to represent the player. The member club shall make best efforts not to deal with any person who is not registered as a contract advisor with the CFLPA. Okay. That means that the member clubs, the teams, they cannot speak on behalf of any player with anyone who is not confirmed as a licensed agent with the CFL's Players Association, right? So kind of here's how that process should look. So let's say that a player reaches out to the BC Lions. I'll pick on them today. They reach out to BC, say they're a wide receiver. They really want to play for BC, wonderful team. BC's first act should be to ask who your agent is. And if that athlete has an agent's name, they need to kind of pause right there, make a call into the CFLPA and confirm that that agent is licensed and in good standing with the PA. If that person is not on that list, they can't negotiate or should not negotiate with that athlete or with that individual, right? Now, they've got significant fines and criteria. Now, I think when Article 28.1 was first put in, um, it was kind of rocky because and there's some things that I feel personally, these are just my thoughts and feelings. There were some things that fell through the gap because at that time, and this is just the honest truth, is verifiable. The individuals that were claiming to be real agents, the fraudsters, were actually given the ability to sit for the exam to become an agent, and several of those people um, whom we collected evidence against are now licensed agents. And we weren't happy about that because we felt like it went against the ethical standard. You know, if these people are already lying and taking advantage of players, then by default, they don't meet the ethical guidelines and the standard to even become an agent. But we were kind of overruled or not made part of that process. So there are some people that are legitimate agents now who were perpetuating the fraud a few years ago. And that concerns me a lot. But that goes beyond my ability to do anything other than to say that they're out there. But the big focus now is that we have protections in place to protect players now, and that's a very big deal. So that provision in the collective bargaining agreement was designed to make sure that only certified agents represent players, because we don't want people out there who don't have the experience and the training and the business acumen to help players make those decisions with their careers. I mean, when we're talking about hundreds or thousands or $1 million in assets at stake, you don't want someone who doesn't hold licensure, that didn't sit for that exam or didn't take sports law classes or understand the contract negotiation process, or all these sponsorship endorsement dealings. You want someone who actually did the work, who took the exam, who's licensed, bonded, paid their fees, and paid their dues, right? It also holds fraudulent agents accountable and removes them from the industry. Like I said, that first year, a few people slipped through the cracks and they're agents now. Um, but we're seeing an end to that now. Now, fines are imposed. People can be banned from ever sitting for the exams, things like that. So we are seeing those frauds be held accountable and punished. We're also punishing teams who don't abide by the guidelines, right? Because we want them to follow the rules. It also informs and helps educate athletes about their rights and to provide them with those resources in order so that you can verify an agent's credentials and protect yourself from being taken advantage at any point, because we don't want that to happen to you. Right? So this was a huge win for athletes, and it set a precedent for other leagues to follow, but there's still a lot of work left to be done, and that's why conversations like these are so important. So next point here before I get into questions or additional conversations is, how can you protect yourself? So if you're an athlete, here are 3 things that you should be doing today to protect yourself. Number 1 is verify the agent credentials. That is done, like I said, through the league databases. Number 2, ask for references. Speak to current and former clients of the agent. Find out what their experiences were, right? It's just part of doing your due diligence. And then the third point, consult with trusted professionals. Talk to your coaches. talk to sport attorneys. Team personnel can also help you make some of those informed decisions if they have recommendations. Even the leagues, like, I am licensed in Canada, so the Canadian Football Leagues Players Association, they've got references. They have people who, if you're an athlete and you contact them and you say, hey, I need a referral, they will point you in the right directions to some of the agents who are doing the job right, and that they would recommend that you reach out and contact. So you have a couple of ways um, to handle your business. So now at this point, I want to hear from you. If you have a question, drop it in the chat. I'm going to be kind of clicking through, looking at the windows, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. Some of my favorite questions here are, have you encountered a suspicious agent? Are you unsure if your current representation is legitimate? Or do you just have questions about Article 28.1? It's been kind of my baby. I'm so proud that it's there. Um, and it's there in the collective bargaining agreement to protect every athlete that comes in after you guys. At this time, like, I am so happy to answer any questions that anyone might have. I'm trying to look. Um, Terry Jordan says, so what would you say to players more than 2 years removed from college or pro rosters that are still trying to make it into avenues? I would say 2 years is not that long ago. There's still hope for you. We do know that there is a window that's closing, right, um, from your draft date, right, your draft class date, and as the time goes by. So we see that window closing, but 2 years is pretty close. I would say, um, Terry, if you've got athletes within that 2 year window, or maybe even possibly three, I mean, it's very, circumstantial, like from player to player, what's going on and their experience. But absolutely, I mean, you're still within your means to reach out to agents and try to get legitimate representation. Um, I would speak more so to athletes who are currently active, trying to go to workouts or even playing at a lower level, professional level. Like indoor football has been a sweet spot for me. We've kept a lot of football players in indoor football just to keep them conditioned and to have active film. So I wouldn't give up too easily if your draft class has passed, as long as it's within recent years, and it has to make sense. I mean, right? I mean, you can't say, well, I got out of my draft class 2 years ago, but I haven't played football since then. Okay, the NFL is not exactly a realistic um, goal for you, right? Not to say you couldn't work up to it. I've seen crazy things happen, but we do want to stay super realistic. Terry also asks, so you can get looks from indoor leagues? Absolutely, absolutely. When I was representing, in the like the height of my heyday, athletes, indoor was our best friend, to be honest. I would tell athletes, I know it's a different game, it's a little different as far as rules and the way athletes are utilized, and even certain skill positions may not be represented in indoor. It's still a valid option um, to use almost as a backup plan. And don't come for me, indoor coaches, for saying backup plan. But if you're looking to um, keep your career going, and buy yourself time and to stay conditioned and learn new skills and hone your skills and keep film, indoor absolutely is a wonderful way to go. Just make sure, asterisk, 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 right? Um, to work with reputable teams, reputable indoor leagues, because you guys know, if you know me, you already know I have dealt with a lot of fraud in the indoor football leagues as well. So who you're working with, you got to be careful with that. Make sure that you're working with good people, solid leagues that aren't messing around, that aren't not paying their football players or getting them locked out of their hotel. There's so many horror stories, you guys, and we will definitely have episodes. Ooh, how do you know which leagues are reputable? Oh, guys, just do your homework, right? Get online. Get there. I know we're on Facebook, but there are a lot of Facebook groups where people are talking about the legitimacy of teams, team owners, team leagues. The more you talk to people, the more you do independent research and things like that to know what's going on in the industry, you're gonna know really quick if a team is a total scam or if a team owner is kind of shady. And we have seen that unfortunately in the lower professional leagues where you have like some sketchy guy that was, allegedly stealing money or not paying players or whatever shenanigans they were doing. They kind of jump ship and they end up at another team. That should be a red flag for you. Um, Reputation is something that does follow people place to place. So yeah, absolutely. Just I know there are a lot of teams that are excellent, a lot of team owners that are really, really great. Um, I'm just gonna shout out Salina Liberty. I mean, great people. Those people have been there um, year after year after year. They haven't really changed a lot of hands, and they've done really good things. I've had athletes play there. I'm just using them as an example of a team in a league that I would vouch for personally. And thank you, Tavis. Tavis said you were the one that made me realize all of this. Always appreciative of you and your support of me. You are so welcome. I never forget any of my athletes. Definitely special place in my heart for all of you guys. I know I'm bouncing around. I've got a couple of people. I've got like two different lives, so I'm not super techy, but I'm bouncing around. But I have Dwayne and Kevin over in our community group right now. And if either one of you would love to chime in, go ahead and unmute. For those of you who aren't aware, I do have, or we have a community now offered through our agencies completely free. Any football player can join our community. It's just a great place to come in, share information, ask questions, get help, and stuff like that. Yes, we do have some paid options where we offer more of our management services and stuff, but you can just come for free and have access to things like this recording or some other things. So make sure you go to our website. It's www.blackdiamondfirm.com. And up in the homepage, there's a tab that says communities, and you can just click through and follow that if you want to join that. But we have a lot of really great resources. And like I said, I've just been so busy. I'm trying to get back into, plug back into the grassroots of the industry and share information. I've just been very busy researching, fighting fights, and trying to make the industry better for all of you guys. So, Dwayne, Kevin, what do you have? Do you have any feedback? Dwayne's been around for forever and he's seen a lot of teams and he's seen a lot of stuff. Kevin, I know he's seen a lot of stuff and he's coached as well. So he may have a different perspective. Kevin
Yeah.
did ask, what are the consequences for fake agents who are found out? Um, Supposedly there are some fines that they are leveraging, Kevin. I think right now it's kind of because 28.1 is still somewhat new. They're allowing agents like I think it's 30 days to sit for the exam. They're basically saying, "Hey, you're not licensed, but we'll give you a warning and, a slap on the wrist, but if you really want to play with the big dogs, you got to take the exam," and they give them like a period of time to do that. I'm sorry, Kevin. I saw you on mute. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I might have bad service. I'm driving, but um, I did first. I just wanted to say like Brandy is like amazing as far as representation and helping you navigate your professional career. I came in with her when I was like later in my years, and so just keeping the career going was great, and she helped me big time with my career. So um, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you. Terry asked, what if an athlete wants to be represented by you? At this point in my career, I'm trying to retire completely from representing um, football clients as an agent. That decision came because I'm trying to focus more on the ethics and the law and mental health, specifically in elite athletes. I think it's an avenue that we are not spending time, resources, and attention. And like I said, I have a very small voice, but I can amplify it. And I really love researching and educating other people on your needs as a population, especially in football. I love advocating for players, and I absolutely love this population of athletes that are our years um, past their draft class. And I feel like you're a lost population. You're forgotten a lot of times, and so trying to get into an area of the industry where I'm serving more as a mentor and an educator and a facilitator, a mental health advocate, and things like that. So, like the communities that we're building, that we're making these recordings for, is more about supporting athletes along their journey. And yes, we still market athletes to teams and try to help them find jobs, right? Because we want to keep you working. Um, but in the capacity of working like with the NFL or the CFL, that is a chapter that I am stepping away from so that I can focus on this other population and those needs. So again, I'm kind of plugging the community. We would love to have you guys over there. Those, if you're looking, for teams, I do have a staff that can still market players to teams and stuff like that, and plug them in. And then we've got great referrals. We have a great referral network to legitimate agents that I would feel very secure uh, putting you into their capable hands. And they run their operations and their ethics and their businesses very closely aligned to the way that I have run ours. So I'm not going away necessarily. And yes, you can still find representation here. It's just kind of being channeled through our communities a little more now than what it was in the past. Um, and Dwayne, do you have anything? I know Dwayne was kind of riding around too. And it's funny that you guys are on here because I've had both of you in the same place time or two. Hey, Dwayne.
All right. Did you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
All right. Like I said, I'm on the same way. I'm at work driving, about to head home. So just bear with me. Yes. How you doing today, everybody? My name is Dwayne. Dwayne Larkin. I was representation of Brandy a few years ago and stuff like that. While I was doing my arena route, looking to pursue, saying a high level at the time. But due to myself with injuries and family issues I had to take care of, stuff was like pretty much getting in the way of everything. But I still managed to get everything situated and everything. Yes, I'm still currently still playing arena football. I'm playing for the Jersey Bearcats, which is an arena team out here in New Jersey, because I'm originally from out here. Um, I just want to say, like I said, I had nothing but good and positive feedback from Brandy for all these years. It was everything that she pretty much said she was going to do, she did. It was no negativity. She was straightforward with me, to the point that like I knew what to look for when it came to reading teams. Like I said, I knew how to read my contract because of her. I knew what to look at with other agents and other football teams and everything. So like any red flags that pop up, I already knew already because of Brandy. She showed us how to what to look for in our contracts. Look for like the small print. A lot of stuff they tell you say you're a dream until you see the contract. You go, hold on, what's this? Like, hold on, what's this? I don't understand this. So because of Brandy, she showed us, pretty much how to not get scammed from teams or other coaches or like I said, other agents. Even when she was my agent, she told us, what I'm saying, how to represent ourselves, if anything. So, like I said, I had nothing but positive things to say about her. Like I said like 1,000 times, I wish I was able to meet her my early careers when I first came out out of college. Um, but like I said, it's nothing but good things about her I can say and whatnot. And also, I see that she said she was retiring, from an agency, which is, like I said, is cool, but she's still going to be helping, you know, other athletes out behind the scenes, I should say. So you can tell she still had a love of the game. She's still helping the athletes out. So it was just okay. Also, even with me, even though me being a veteran, I help out other athletes too that look into, you know, any questions about, the arena routes or little leagues or just being around, what I'm saying? Have people hit me up, what I'm saying? Asking my feedback on certain stuff. I give my positive feedback on what I know about it, what I'm saying?
That's
And to
important
the coaches
too.
I know,
Yeah, these younger
oh, I'm
guys,
sorry.
they need that mentorship and they need your experience, and that's one of the things I love about football is it's longitudinal, right? I mean, even after your days of playing are over, you can still stay connected to the sport. It may be a little different capacity, but what you bring to the table is still very valuable and very consumable.
Giving us, the knowledge of the game. So that's all I have to say. Number of good things about you, Brandy. Thank you again. Also, I'll be tuning in, whenever you do these podcasts or, I'll be here, listening. So thank you.
Yes, thank you guys so much for joining. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. It took forever, it felt like, for me to kind of get back in the swing of things and get things going again. But I felt like this was such an important conversation to have, and I wanted to jumpstart our Free Agent Fridays with this topic. I am so grateful to all of you guys for tuning in and for weighing in. The fight against fake agents is definitely far from over, but just remember that if we work together, we can continue to create a safer and more ethical sports industry. Um, and just stay informed and protect yourself. Make sure that you are able to follow our page or just visit our website. Like I said, our community is growing. It's all about educating and supporting athletes. So please share it with any fellow athletes that you feel could benefit. I mean, knowledge is power. And if you need any guidance, just reach out for sure. I'm always here to help, and hope you all have a great day. Who you got for the Super Bowl, you guys? Who's going to take it? Is it going to be the Chiefs or the Eagles? I can't believe I would ever root for the Eagles in any capacity, but I watched Jalen Hurts from being a true freshman to where he is now. So, but I think they got a lot of dog in them. I think they're going to take the Chiefs. What do you guys think?
It's very hard. You had three-peat in Super Bowl. A lot of teams tried it. Now everybody got their two straight, but that third one is kind of tough. You know what I'm saying? Kind of tough. So I don't know. I think Jalen Hurts might get one too. I think the Eagles might take it. I think so. The Eagles might take it. You know what I'm saying? It's not that three streak of the Super Bowl. So Eagles.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I will catch you on our next edition.